It's not my job to support your small business just because you have one. I don't buy into the support small businesses thing. Just because you made a life career choice to start a business, that doesn't mean I should feel obligated to support you. I'll spend my money wherever I get the best value. If you can deliver that, you can have my money, but only because that's what works best for me. I expect my customers to do the same. I've been running my own small business for the past 7 years, but I don't get involved in any of the support your local small business pap because it's nobody else's job to support me just because I exist. I'll try and offer the best value for money and best service for my clients, but if they can get a better deal elsewhere, then I don't blame them for not choosing me. I know this probably makes me a selfish DK in a lot of people's eyes, but I really don't think that it's anyone else's problem to support a business just because it's a small one. A lot of times, the savings I get from going to small businesses comes in the form of time, not money. And time is more important to me right now. But like you said, that's my decision. Absolutely. Whatever you value most. I'm not against small businesses, just the idea of supporting them, just because. I'd also like to add to this that it keeps money circulating in the local economy, which is another priority-based decision. This for me is the biggest reason. You shouldn't feel obligated, but you should understand that always buying the best value will end up siphoning money out of your own economy. Thing is that big businesses have huge advantages. They don't win because they have better service, but because their structure allows them to outbid and survive smaller businesses, which is a problem. I agree that some small businesses behave like entitled assholes who kinda deserve to go down. But big enterprises do sometimes stomp smaller shops with sheer power. They manipulate infrastructure or offer prices which are simply impossible to achieve with a small shop. Legal fights are easily won because they can easily afford good lawyers, hell they might even own teams of lawyers. So my verdict would be, don't support small businesses, but support people who pour their heart into their work and appreciate quality. Big businesses rarely offer that. I support small businesses cause e-commerce isn't that good, and I want to touch stuff before I buy it. Amazon recently started in my country, and as soon as delivery times get better and exchange is convenient, I am immediately switching to Amazon. Well, depending on your industry, being a small business can make you unable to compete with large corporations on price. They will operate at a loss on new services products for years to capture market share, while a small business cannot afford to do this. Oftentimes, the only way a little guy can compete is with customer service. Supporting small local businesses also keeps money in your local community as opposed to Wall Street, and that in itself has value if you can look past today and into tomorrow. While it's nobody's job to support you simply because you exist, it's typically in your long-term best interest to support your local community whenever possible. Fully agree, the government should adopt policies that will impede that, not people. We should use the best quality service at the best price. In my country there is a fair concurrence law that prohibits lowering your price to target small business, which can result in a very big fine. I'm kind of torn between this attitude and ops. Granted, it depends largely on the industry like you mentioned. But ideally, a small business has to offer something better than a large corporation, whether it be convenience, quality, uniqueness. As long as small business has at least one of these aspects, they can make up for the typical large company advantage on price and even things out. Right, convenience and low prices, I get that. The issue is Amazon takes a loss on profits intentionally to become the most competitive option, forcing the local manufacturers to close shop. Then after they have the lead in that market, the prices rise again. It's a long-term macro strategy that's slowly taking over consumerism. Bezos is indeed a genius in many respects because he's tapped into the sentiment that the op is describing. Not to mention nearly half of Amazon's manufacturers are out of China. So in the end, it costs local manufacturers and retailers alike their business while redirecting profits that could have been captured here in the US. Supporting small business generally means supporting living wages for the employees, better more personal customer service, and supporting local economy. It actually matters if you care about where you live. Look no further than the decimation of small towns across the country. As people shop online to the detriment of brick and mortars, that money leaves the local economy and travels to the major wealth markets, the coasts. Middle America is left without a robust economy and a deep anger at the coastal states, who enjoy major benefits from their dollars. That's part of the reason we now have the president and the deep distrust in our country. Often that money stays in the local economy. People keep saying this, but nobody really explains why that matters or why I should care. Why is it even remotely in my best interest to care whether Jeff, who runs the hardware store up the street, gets my $30 or if Home Depot gets it? Genuine question here. A couple of things: it employs people locally rather than making billionaires richer. Results in more revenue for the government where you live. I try to support local businesses just because if they don't get support in my area, they often leave, giving us less options. Sure, it might be cheaper to get tacos from the Taco Bell, and I might be fine with either one tonight, but having the small taco truck leave my town would be a much bigger loss than the extra $3 I would have to spend. I agree in a lot of cases, but there are others that have more factors involved. I go to a local game store to play some trading card games. I could 100% find product cheaper online or at bigger retailers, but if the LGS falls under and closes, then I have nowhere to go and play. Therefore, I have no problem spending a little more. The store and community there mean more to me than saving a few bucks. To each their own. I will always try to support small business for a few reasons. I like my shit to be more unique, especially my clothes. Smaller business tend to have funkier stuff. I don't like the idea of monopolies. Supporting massive corporations leads to this in a way that supporting a few smaller business doesn't. I don't like the way big corporations actively damage smaller business and more commonly avoid tax. I like to feel like my money is going towards a smaller company that helps someone support their family than a company that just lines the bank account of billionaires. Where I'm from, small businesses charge more for the same type of item. But most of the time it's a much nicer, more delicious item. I don't give a crap about small businesses, I just want the quality service and produce. I don't think it makes you a dick. I own a small business, but I get my groceries at Walmart strictly for the price. If I want a nice turkey for dinner though, I'll go to the small deli. I compare it to buying an off-the-rack suit versus a fitted tailored suit, which is always going to look better. My business can't compete with giant corporations in terms of supply, but we can in terms of quality of service. Like the Gatorade I buy at Walmart, I don't need that to be a fitted suit. I just want it to be cheap. Small bars and restaurants though, that's another story. I'll always support locally in that regard. The people that seem to have the biggest problem with the free market capitalist system are business owners. Small business, that corruption is so big, rich, efficient, and diversified, I can't compete. They have enough money, so come and give me your money. Also, I'm going to cry about how raising minimum wage will put me out of business. Because I need to make a profit over my employees making a living. Corporations? We're going to hoard the wealth that we accrued by underpaying our workforce, not paying a noticeable difference into their healthcare, lie to them about how having a 401k is better than a guaranteed pension, so they have to work longer, and releasing propaganda to convince people that we shouldn't be forced to take care of our employees because that's un-American communism. Also, if the richest people in our company can't get their bonuses, we're going to cry to the government to help subsidize us with taxpayer money. I don't know why you feel there's a pressure or obligation to support small businesses. I think it's just because many people would rather give their money to a local guy-girl trying to follow their dreams rather than a big corporate machine.